All right, welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. I'm Brad. It's been a long time since I did a long form video. I had some issues with some streaming, but we are working. We got through it. We are on it, and we are. It is now a couple days after Christmas, and we have 14 games on tonight. But before that, I want to do my Christmas playoff tier list, which is just kind of going over the teams that where they are. Where are they? A Stanley Cup contender? Are they a playoff contender? Are they more of a wild card team? Are they a WTF? What is happening type team? Or a rebuilding team, kind of just waiting for the offseason to come here and for the playoffs to be over. So today we're going to go on all over all the teams. We're going to go by division, starting with the Atlantic. But I'm excited about it. I haven't done a long form video in a little bit, so a little bit of dusting the rust off a little bit, But we're going to get this thing moving. I got the Flyers because they are doing impressively. So you go Flyers fans. So all right, let's just jump right into it. So let's get there's a lot of here. So we're going to start with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And kind of just looking at them. For them, to me, they are a Stanley Cup contender. I mean, they're doing so well. If you look at their record, they're doing phenomenal. I'm going to pull up the actually, you know what? I'm going to go with. I haven't looked at the standings, and I have the standings over here. So we're going to look at them after I've done my go through because I have an idea. I have feelings of how these teams are, but for me, you try and keep up with 32 teams. You do the best you can, but for me, it's all about vibes and how you're feeling, man. And to me, some of these teams, the vibes are off, and I don't have, I have similar. I can go over where I had them. Actually, I actually have my list right here about where I ranked them. So Toronto, I had them at the top of the division. So just to let you guys know, I'm at the top of the division, winning it. So let's see how that ends up panning out. But again, they are Stanley Cup contenders. They are working really hard. I know Boston's working pretty hard though too. So, but we're gonna try and fly through these things just really quickly. But goaltending's been an issue for them. I know they're gonna be looking for a defenseman at the trade deadline. But right now, they're just kind of staying pat right now. There are a lot of injuries on defense, but we'll see if they can bounce back. So the Red Wings, to me, I had them 7th in the division. And I know that right now in the last 10, they are 2-7-1. They have a ton of injuries. Larkin was out for a little bit. Comfort was out for a little bit. Kopp was their first seat. Valeno was their first seat. Valeno was their fourth center. And he was playing first seat. So, which is crazy to me. Red Wings, I'm gonna go wild card because of the pigeonholes that I put them in with what WTF and wild card. They're not doing well though. They're on a bad skid. I think they're on a crazy losing streak. I'm very worried about them, and I'm hoping they can bounce back. Hopefully this break helped a little bit, but again, I don't have a lot of confidence in them. So, anyways, moving on to the Boston Bruins. Stellar. I knew Boston would fall off a little bit. I thought they would fall off a little bit. They're doing phenomenal, man. I think they're top of the division actually in the Atlantic right now. Again, I'm not checking yet until I get to the end, until I get to this next part, and then we're gonna go over kind of where I think everyone's kind of falling at this point. Buffalo, I'm gonna go WTF. You were supposed to be good. Devin Levi was supposed to be your savior. You're supposed to be your Jedi. What's happening? Because to me, I just don't. You're not getting goaltending. The problem is last year you guys didn't get goaltending, and you guys were able to just score so many goals, and that was it. You just didn't. All you do was outscore. If they scored 5, you scored 6, and that's how it went with Buffalo. And now you're just not getting the goaltending, and you're not putting up the goals. So they're doing. I know they're not doing well in the division. So we'll see if they can bounce back. I just maybe think this is a year where they just say, hey, just take the L. I know they were really close to making the playoffs last year, but at this point, I don't know what they need. They just need another year of development, I think, unfortunately. Unless they're going to do something like the Red Wings did this past offseason and just sign a ton of free agents, which may be the move, but they have so many prospects that, why don't you just kind of wait for these guys to develop and kind of have them all composite team, kind of like what Tampa did. That's what I think they should do, but we will see. So, Florida is absolutely a playoff contender. To me, I think they're good. They struggle with having their 2 defensemen out, Montour and Ekblad, but they bounced back really well. They were sitting around in this wild card area, but I think they're definitely a playoff contender. And of course, we can see how this is. Only, by the way, we're only doing Christmas break, right? So I'll do another one of these before the trade deadline, where I think they should do, who I think they should pick up. And we'll kind of do another tier list in a couple months, just to kind of get an idea of where we think they should be at and what kind of moves they should be making. So, Canadians are doing very well. I actually think they're playing well. They're playing kind of like a wild card team. I think they're 5th in division. I think they're even higher than the Red Wings at this point. But they're playing very well. They're doing very well. But I think they're still waiting for the rebuild, right? They're definitely not going to pick it up pieces. They're definitely going to be selling off still. So they're playing very well. The young guys are playing well, but actually they're doing better than Buffalo, which is crazy. Maybe we should go with we're gonna go WTF because not a ton of teams get WTF, but WTF, You guys were supposed to be bad. Well, you guys are good. You guys are going to selling great people. You're selling off Jake Allen. What's the other guy? Sean Monahan. I hear what's his name? Barron. Justin Barron, I think, isn't Josh Barron. A couple of guys that just maybe you have so many prospects and so many good players that you guys can start selling off guys. So great, awesome, excited for you guys. But what's happened? What WTF, right? So Lightning going back. Lightning always a playoff contender. You know what? They got knocked to the first round by Toronto last year, right? But does that mean they're a bad team? Are they a playoff contender or a Stanley Cup contender? Right now, they're playing like a playoff contender. Vasilevsky was hurt, and they played okay with him. He's kind of doing better, but he's not your all-star Vasilevsky. But really, we know Tampa doesn't really start. They just want to get in the playoffs, and once they get the playoffs, they turn it right on. Like, we know it's going to happen that way, like that. So I'm not worried about them. And in a couple months, they honestly could roll into like the second spot in the division. It's not an issue. They just need to turn it on, right? And based on what it looks like, unless they really start dropping out of the playoff race, it looks like they're probably going to keep Stamkos, and they'll probably talk about an extension probably in the offseason. So maybe I could see like a it's a big range, right? But $4 to $6 million for a couple of years, maybe like a 3-year for Stamkos. I mean, he's getting older, but he's still performing. So we'll see. Senators, WTF? What the hell? Which is crazy to me. I have 3 WTFs in there because you were not supposed to be rebuilding. You were supposed to be in a wild card, almost playoff spot because they played well last year. They played, I think, a couple points from the playoffs. Like, so what's happening here? They just fired their coach. They brought in a new old coach. They also brought in Daniel Alfredson as an assistant coach, which is great. I'm excited for them because I know there's a huge love for Daniel Alfredson. Of course, there was some tumultuousness that kind of happened with the fan base in them and ownership, but I'm excited for the Senators. I think their fans piss me off because of the things they comment, but I know it's out of a passion and out of excitement for their team because you get amazing players. Brady Tkachuk, Stützle. I know you guys are very excited about Sanderson. Yeah, Sanderson, right? I don't agree with the Korpisalo pickup this past offseason, but that's okay. You got some guys here, so the problem is they're definitely not getting goaltending, which is a huge issue, and they're probably gonna end up flipping Tarasenko, but he doesn't have no movement clause, so that he will have to waive that to be able to trade to another team. Of course, it'll probably be by his choice. So we'll see what goes with that. So here I got Toronto, Boston top of the league, Tampa and Florida playing in the third, fourth spot. I mean, you kind of banking this out, right? You kind of say, right, Red Wings would be in the fifth. We'll probably say, I know Ottawa's doing terrible. So I'd say probably the Montreal Canadiens are a little bit better than the Senator or the Buffalo Sabres. So right there, let's see where they landed. All right, yeah, so we're close. Yeah, so we got Toronto and Boston at the top. Look at that. With one game in hand, I mean, they could be at 42 points, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Florida's doing well. Tampa's doing well, of course. Red Wings, again, there's that 2-7-1. I know they're not doing great. But even the Boston Bruins are under 5, or they're a little over 500. Every team here is above 500 except for 500 or above, besides the Red Wings and the Ottawa Senators in the last 10 games. So I wasn't far off of this. Ottawa has a ton of games in hand though, right? If you put up, if they won every game from 29, 35 games, 6 games, if they won every game, that's 10 points. It's almost about 34th, which is only. They only jumped the Buffalo Sabres, so they're still not doing well. Probably need to do a rebuild again, have it be a rebuild season. But I don't know what Ottawa's doing, man. I just don't know, man. I want success for them because I know it's going to be eventually the 4 teams that are going to be at the top of the division are going to be Detroit, Canadiens, Sabres, and Ottawa, and all that whole division is going to flip, right? I mean, maybe Toronto will still hang around, but Boston needs to rebuild. Florida will probably be in the mix still because they got some young players like Chuck, but he's a little older. And you have Barkov, of course, as well. Tampa Bay Lightning will need a rebuild in probably the next couple of years. Hopefully they can keep rolling cap, but we'll see. But I'm happy with that. It was a good result. I'm very happy with the standing. So moving on to the Metro Division with the New York Islanders. And I'm going to go, they are, to me, I was low on the Islanders. I had the Islanders finishing just outside the playoff in 5th place. I'm going to say WTF because I've been hearing a lot of good things from them. They're doing very well. But this is a division I'm not as familiar with, but I'm like excited for them, but definitely a surprise for me. I was not high on them, but I remember seeing a game against the Red Wings. I think they won like 4-3 or something like that. I was like, when they start scoring 4 goals. And I've seen a couple scores that have been very high for the Islanders, so good for you guys. I'm great for you. I mean, you have Sorokin and Varlamov, so of course, there's no issue there, right? I know they made a trade recently. I can't remember who it was, but I mean, immediately Beard was off. Just crazy rule that Lou Lamoriello has, but it's all right. So we're gonna go with Carolina. At this point they're a wild card team. There's a huge issue with the goalies, and they honestly might be WTF with the goalies aspect of it, and they're not producing as well as they're going. But to me, they're a wild card team right now. I'm just not. To me, they have a huge. To me, they're like the Red Wings in the sense that they have great players, not all stars. They have Aho, point game player. You have Teravainen, point game player. Stahl, he's your 3C, and he's phenomenal, right? You have all these great guys. You have Pesci. You have their goalie Kuchekov. So you have all these great players, but the issue is they're not clicking enough. To me, they should be number one, like practically number one. I had them second in the division going into this year. So I mean, to me, I'm not hearing a lot. I'm not feeling a lot from them. Again, this is where I'm based off feelings. We will check the Metro divisions at the end to see where I land everyone based on my feels of what I've been hearing around the league. So let's go into the next one. Capitals. That's a WTF for me. I had to watch the Capitals. You won't guess. You think fourth in the division? Nope. Fifth? Nope. Sixth? Nope. I had them seventh in division. I thought they were going to take a full rebuild year, flip everyone, sell everyone, and just get rid of everyone, and then just bring in other new guys, new established people around Ovechkin, get him that record. He's dropped off, but somehow they're doing very well. I think they're they might be third in the division right now. I'm surprised. Well, that's exciting. I'm excited for the Capitals. I'm excited for Capitals fans. I know there's some tumultuousness with their what's going to happen with their building. I hear that the mayor is actually trying to pass $500 million through the city to get them a new building. So good for the Capitals. Taxpayers not so much, but good for the Capitals. So good for them. New Jersey Devils. Maybe this is a WTF all the time, dude. The Jersey Devils to me actually is a WTF. Why? You guys were too good. I had you number one in the division. What is happening? You get out of here. I know the goaltending is not great, but you have huge injuries. I mean, you had Jack Hughes out for a little bit. You have Dougie Hamilton's probably out till the end of April, which is essentially the start of playoffs. So the good thing is I'm expecting when I make a new video like this, the Devils will be ready and they'll be ready to go, and they'll have $9 million in cap space because Dougie Hamilton will be on LTIR. Probably kind of pull a Coach Kucherov, similar cap space by the way, and then just skip the rest of the season and just start in the playoffs, which allow them to pick up price a good player, a couple of good players, which I think would be great for them. So it's more like they just have to get into the playoffs, and then I think they can start making some moves. So Columbus, I didn't believe in what Columbus was doing. I had them sixth in the division. I know you guys went out and made all those trades for Prosvetov. You got your Johnny Gaudreau's and everything, and you have your Seversons you guys traded for, but I just didn't believe it from the start. So I'm not surprised. You're still rebuilding. What is happening? I think your GM and president are probably gone by the end of the season, or at the end of the season. So that's just more. I mean, there's nothing more to say. You guys are going to try to sell some pieces off. And Fantilli, what are you guys doing with your prospects? Why are you guys playing them so little? Why are you sheltering so much? Let them try and grow in these positions right now, because they're going to have to fill in these areas. Unless you're trying to show off any UFAs right now, or any players you want to trade, by playing them more and sheltering Fantilli and like Kent Johnson. But to me, you're just wasting time at this point. So Rangers are Stanley Cup contenders right now. Of course, you have Stuttgart. I actually had the Rangers dropping to the third. I believe they're actually first in the division. I think they were battling with Vancouver for the top of the league in points, which at this point Vancouver is currently the top in the league, if I remember correctly. Again, I'm not looking at the standings until the end, so I'll let you know when I look there. But the Rangers are playing well. I mean, they're great players. Panarin's playing amazing. He's potentially up for the Hart Trophy. Zibanejad. If you didn't check out Zibanejad tip along the backside of the net to Wheeler, it's crazy. Type in Zibanejad or New York Rangers Wheeler goal. It was a wild goal. You could see Blake Wheeler's face goes. It was just hilarious. So definitely go check that out. I mean, they're a wagon right now. So Philadelphia Flyers. To me, I want to go WTF because I expected them to be 8th, but they're still rebuilding. They're almost. I think they're in a wild card spot right now. But to me, and it kind of is WTF. But we knew what was going to happen with them. We knew that they were going to be rebuilding. And maybe we should put the Canadians down here too. We know they're rebuilding. It's still WTF, but they're rebuilding. We know their direction. They're not going to buy. These are teams that are not going to buy at the deadline. To me, that's what a rebuilding team is. WTF could go either way, right? They can either sink or swim. They can say, hey, we're going to try swimming, and we're going to buy a bunch of guys, and we're going to trade for guys, which is fine. You guys can do that. Or you say, hey, I'm going to sell, and we just call it a wash season and try again next year, which is fine too. Great. Just have a direction. Just have a place you're going to. Don't give me the wishy-washy. It's as a fan of hockey, it's the most frustrating thing when you're like, I don't know what my team's doing because are we tanking? Are we going for the cup? To me, you're either going for the cup or you're tanking. I mean, there's some progression points here, but pick one or the other. So, anyways, Pittsburgh Penguins. By the way, Philadelphia, good for you. I know you guys were looking to trade rest their line and everything. A couple players as well. Bonk is playing well. I think they're Brink or Bonk. I think Brink is playing now in the roster. Bonk is one of your prospects. So either way, they got great names. Brink and Bonk, hilarious. So by the way, my buddy Ronnie Adder is playing the AHL for the Layton Valley Phantoms, the AHL team for the Philadelphia Flyers. Check him out. He'll be playing. He's got a 2-year contract. He has an AHL year deal this year and a one-way deal next year. So he'll be in the NHL. I'm pretty excited for him. So check him out. Anyways, Pittsburgh Penguins. To me, they're a wildcard team. It's not a WTF. I didn't think they're going to be amazing. I had them finishing fourth in the division. I think they're not doing great. But to me, they're a wild card. They need to get some things together. They're a wild card team that has potential here that they can kind of piece things together. They have all the right pieces. You have a Crosby, a Malkin, Letang. You have a Carlson. You have a Gensel, who they actually might trade, which is crazy to me. But if you're gonna, I guess you already have Malkin, Letang, Crosby, Carlson all locked up already. So I guess if you don't want to keep him, flip Gensel for a first, tank the rest of the season, and then kind of do what Washington did and sell off your bad pieces and then rebuild into the next season for a phenomenal year next year. Again, pick a direction. And to me, I think Kyle Dubas was brought in and his ownership told him to say, hey, we have Crosby. We're going for it every year. He said, okay, I'll make my big move. It's Carlson. And either way, he owns the move, right? Like, he's making a big move, like big splash like that. And that is the ownership he's taking on. He's like, this is the identity I want to take on. Great. You have a direction, right? Is it working? Not really. But you have a direction at least, which I'm happy for them in that case. So go to the standings. So we have the New York Rangers. They are playing well. I mean, 47 points. I think 47 points. Oh, no, Vancouver is beating them. But you have 47 points with the Vegas Golden Knights and 47 points with the Rangers. But I think they have less games played. So good for them. Islanders, again, playing well. WTF. I had you Islanders at 5th, and they're 2nd in the division. That's amazing. Flyers as well. Crazy. I had you at 8th. That maybe should be a WTF team, right? Flyers doing very well. I'm very happy for them. And look at that goal differential. Carter Hart playing well, man. You have Washington Capitals again playing well, even though Ovi isn't scoring, and they only played 31 games too, so they have a ton of games in hand. So they could honestly make the playoffs this year, which would be great for their fan base. Carolina Hurricanes, they waived Ranta, so they're gonna have to bounce back and figure out that goalie situation. I know they're definitely looking at Jake Allen from the Montreal Canadiens. So we'll see you there. I know New Jersey's also looking for goaltending, so they're looking at the same goalies. So we'll see who ends up picking them up. Again, New Jersey looks like they're getting back online, 6-3-1 in their last 10. That's a decent record, right? They can get that up. Probably can make that playoff push. Again, here you got the Penguins in the bottom, man. Dude, geez, get out of here. I mean, it's still a tight race. You have 34 points to... So the fourth place is a 5-point difference, right? So there's a possibility of them leapfrogging some of these people if some of these teams start to drag. But I don't know. It's scary, man. 35 games played. And Columbus, again, they're rebuilding. To me, they're rebuilding. You can't lie to me. You can't tell me that they're not rebuilding because they are. They're just not doing well. And I don't know whose fault it is, but I just know some people are going to get fired. So, anyways, moving on to the Central Division. St. Louis Blues. WTF. What is happening, guys? I really like Doug Armstrong. I think he was really honest about what happened with the team and how he hasn't just since the Stanley Cup he hasn't left the team better. He's determined the trades he hasn't made. I think he should have done the sell season, right, and try and rebuild on the fly. And that's part of this rebuild on the fly. To me, they shouldn't be good. They shouldn't be great. They should be a wild card, probably miss the playoffs team. intentionally so that they can take assets and flip them, right? Sell off on Kasperi Kapanen, sell off on Kevin Hayes, sell off on these guys. Verana, it's just sell off on these guys. And then, again, they made 3 first-round picks last year, or this past 2023. That means by next year, they could have 1 or 2 of those guys up. And in 2-3 years, they can have all 3 of those guys up. So you have great prospects. You have guys waiting. So just tank at this point. And tank is, don't tank. Sell off a bunch. Kind of stay in middle lane. Get a decent draft pick. Get some draft picks. And accumulate. And then go gun-ho in like a year or 2. That's my opinion. Blues fans, comment if you have an issue with that. I'm sure you will because you want your team to win. Everyone wants their team to win, of course. So Blackhawks rebuilding. If you haven't seen Connor Bedard, he just did the Michigan the other day. So good for him. There's nothing else to say here. They're rebuilding. They're not doing great, and they're last in their Western Division. So they're fighting for last place. They're fighting with San Jose for that Macklin Celebrini draft. So we'll see if that ends up happening. Anyways, with the Colorado Avalanche, a little WTF. I personally, for the drama, WTF is a little bit where I'm feeling. Because of the drama with the Lehkonen article and people talking shit, like Taves is talking shit, but they're a playoff, they're a Stanley Cup contender to me. They're a Stanley Cup contender. Them and Dallas fighting probably for the top spot, and Winnipeg fighting for that top spot in the Central Division. I think Winnipeg is leading that division right now. You know, to me, I think right now. Do they go playoff? They're feeling playoffy. They could slide up into the Stanley Cup one, but to me, they're playoffy. So I'm going with that. It's again, we're going to make some feeling. We will check this at the end, right after this division. But to me, they feel a little playoffy. They're not. They're definitely going to make the playoffs. There's no like McKinnon can just say, "Hey, I'm going to go," as Jeff Merrick said the other day. Nathan McKinnon can say, okay, I'm going to score 3 points tonight and just turn it on. Because that's just Nathan McKinnon. And to me, the infighting is more of a, hey, I want a winning culture. I want to win here. I want to do well. I want to do well by the team. We have a way that we do the system. And that's why I think Taves is having the greatest issue there, is that he's like, hey, we're doing this. We're hard on ourselves. We want everyone to row in the same direction because that's what creates a winning culture. I know I won the Stanley Cup with them in 2022. That's what he's saying. We all need to run in the same direction, and maybe it's just a jolt to the system that the team needed, and so we'll see how that ends up working out for them. So, Wild did not have the same hot. They said a little bit of a hot start, but to me, that they're a wildcard team. They're kind of middling. I think they might miss. I mean, if you're looking at who's going to take over the Central, you have the Avalanche, you have the Stars. Predators are doing amazing right now. Jets are doing well as well. I mean, maybe Minnesota and St. Louis can fight for that wild card spot, but to me, it's in the bag with those 4, with Avalanche, Dallas, Predators, and Winnipeg right now. So, actually, I'm gonna jump this. I want to talk about Winnipeg. They're Stanley Cup contenders right now, man. They are looking phenomenal, and I was very low on them. I had them 4th. I had them almost missing the playoffs. I had them in the fourth position in the division. So to me, like, I was low on them. I mean, they're playing phenomenal. I think they're number 1 in the division right now, which is great. I mean, and I liked the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. The pieces they got were great. To me, they didn't have any stars. I didn't love the Scheifele. I love the Hellebuck deal. I don't like the Scheifele deal, but I mean, it's working out really well. They're playing very well. The whole team's rallying around it. They're looking great. There's gonna be some Perfetti's gonna get a great contract. I mean, I'm excited for them. I'm happy for Jets fans too, right? Go to your. I mean, I'm saying this as I'm in Detroit, right? Go see the Jets play. If you live in Winnipeg, go see the Jets play. I hear that they're electric right now. So go support your team. I don't want them to move again. I don't want another team to move. So, anyways, Winnipeg Jets fans, go. So, Dallas Stars, you are a Stanley Cup contender. To me, you have Ottinger, and I went and saw a Texas Stars game. It was so much fun. I saw Texas Stars, the AHL team for the Stars. It was great. It was a ton of fun. Their young team looks good, and their current team looks good. I mean, I think they're going to be good for a long time. I think signing Jason Robinson for that short contract was not the smart move. He's going to make $11 million at the end of this. But right now, they're looking phenomenal. I love Hastings too. He's great. We got the Predators. They're looking like playoff contenders. Probably tilting towards that wild card spot. They're doing better than I thought they would. I thought Nashville would finish 6th this year. I didn't agree with the offseason moves. I thought that they signing Riley and Nyquist and Shen to these deals. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I thought you were rebuilding. You bought out. You traded Johansson. You bought out Shen or not Shen. You bought out Duchesne. There's talks potentially about trading Saros. You guys have Askarov in the wings. What are you guys doing? So to me, I just didn't understand what was happening, and so that was my issues. I didn't understand, and now I see it. You guys are playing very well. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Nashville. I think Nashville's a fun. They're considered a small market, but I think they're a very fun team. I think they have a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see what they do. Again, I think they should have rebuilt it, but I mean that's their choice, and I'm happy for them. So. Moving on to the Arizona Coyotes. To me, I got a soft spot. I want to get an Arizona Coyote hat. They're a playoff contender right now. They're sitting in that like wild card area, but to me, like I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling the love of the Arizona Coyotes. I'm so excited. I've been saying it for years. I think, of course, everyone's like Arizona just takes on bad picks and everything, bad players and picks. It's not all these 1 year deals. I mean, they got like Stetcher for 1 year. They got Dumba for 1 year. They get a bunch of 1 year contracts. They got some young guys coming in. Cooley's looking phenomenal. You have the Michael Carcone, or I think Carcone is it? Anyways, he looks phenomenal. He's an AHL guy. I think he's like 27 right now. Playing fun. I think he's like 13 goals in 33 games, which is great. Great numbers, man. I'm just excited for them. I love the energy, and I'm excited for them to hit that trajectory. I think they're hitting that like slightly up where they're going to be, once they get the arena, they're just going to skyrocket. They're going to be ready, man. You better watch out. Arizona is going to be a good team, man. So, moving on, let's go back to the NHL standings. Let's check out who that we got. Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. Like we said, Wagon's looking great. They're just looking great. I mean, there's no issue here. Jets, they are not top of the standings, but they do have games in hand on Colorado. So they definitely could leapfrog them, no problem. And if Dallas Stars lose their next two, wins their next two, they take top division. So, I think they were top at one point, if I remember correctly. So Nashville, again, that wild card spot. Arizona, I said playoff contender, but they're in that wild card spot. Only one game and one win from tying the Nashville Predators. So St. Louis Blues, again, not doing great. Only 500 in the last 10 games. Wild are playing. Again, to me, they're always a middling team. But again, this Central Division is really close. Look at this. If you look at the fourth position in the division, you have 38 points, and you have Minnesota Wild at 34 points. So it's a very close division. Everyone's close except for Chicago, who's rebuilding. Who called it? We called it. Everyone called it because you guys were going for Bedard last year. So, boo you. You guys got Bedard, so I don't want to hear you complaining from Chicago fans. Boo. Anyways, let's go to my last tier in 1 second. Go. All right, so back at it. We're good. We're good. All right, cool. Move on to the Oilers. Oilers was a WTF earlier in the season. It was definitely a WTF. They are now currently still really behind. I'm putting them as a wild card. So right now, they're a wild card. To me, I think they have the highest upside. I think you're going to see the biggest point spike of the team coming from the Oilers. I think they're going to win a lot more games they're going to lose. But they're definitely a wild card team right now. So McDavid's finally got a spark back. Campbell has, from what I read, lost his starting job in the AHL. So they still need goaltending. They're definitely looking at Jake Allen. So we'll see if that ends up coming to fruit. I don't think he'll pick the Oilers because I think he has an 18 no trade clause. So I'm pretty sure it's all the Canadian teams and a couple of the California teams. So we'll see. Calgary Flames. To me, it's not a WTF. I called it from the beginning. They're a rebuilding team. I never saw them becoming anything more than a rebuilding team. They signed all these guys, and I didn't have faith in Huberdeau bouncing back. I had hoped he would. Kadri was a little expensive. Don't think he's worth 7x7. But to me, they're a rebuilding team. It's not WTF because to me, WTF means it was a surprise. This isn't a surprise for me. It's the Flames. I'm sorry. Rebuild. And I think everyone knew it but the Calgary Flames. I think that was the issue. Is the Calgary Flames like, we want to try and go, but to me, you're a rebuilding team. So sell while you got it. This is what the Blues should be doing, right? Sell on your guys. Just recognize, hey, nope, we're gonna rebuild. We're not gonna resign these guys. We're gonna sell off these guys, and we're gonna get some draft picks, and then we're gonna come back stronger next year. It's like pruning a tree. You're a plant, right? You cut the dead limb. Not that the players are bad. You cut the dead limbs off because they're not gonna be there next year or next season in this case. Plants season. You cut them off and you prune them so that better things can grow in those spots, right? If you have a center position that that needs to be replenished with a better center, you get rid of that center and you move on to a different one, right? Bring someone in, right? Make those trades. Or like sell off and then make a big trade for, because you'll have the assets at that point too. I mean, whatever you guys want to do. So LA, to me, teetering, they're really hot. Teetering between, are they feelings wise? I still doubt. I'm still not on the. To me, they're not a Stanley Cup team. I know they're doing phenomenal. I had a huge doubt in their goaltending. I think I had them third in division. I still don't doubt the goaltending. They're playing a lot better than I thought they would. But hey, I'm happy for you guys. Great, keep up the good work. I still doubt a little bit. I think I'm glad Byfield's working on the wing. Hopefully, he turns out to be a center. But that's why he picked up Pierre-Luc Dubois. Who's not doing great either. So that trade's not looking as good for them. So we'll see. Ducks, you're rebuilding. I don't have to tell you anything. Zero, it was cool you guys get the Michigan goal for that one or poor lady. I like that shit. But you're rebuilding. There's nothing else to say. Sell some people off, and good luck in the rebuild. Sharks, one of my favorites. One of my favorite teams. It's my second favorite team. Flyers are like fourth or fifth. I love this hat though. But you're not gonna celebrate any race right here, man. At least you guys are intentionally doing that way. But you guys picked up players like Hoffman, Granlund, Jan Ruda, so that you can sell them. You picked up Blackwood so you can sell them, right? That's how a rebuilding team does it. You guys are doing it properly. I'm very happy for you guys. Sell everyone that's not nailed to the ground, right? Sell off Hurdle, sell off Couture. I like them. I really like Hurdle. But if you can get some value from him, sell them. Vancouver Canucks. Is this WTF? Because I'm putting up a Stanley Cup contender because to me, it still was WTF. I was very low on the Vancouver Canucks. I had them at sixth in the division. I did not believe in it. I did not see the vibes were off for me. The vibes, the feelings of like, oh, is this team gonna be good or not? The vibes were off. I was mistaken. I was wrong. Vancouver fans, I'm sorry. You're the great up north, right? West, that way. I'm very happy for you guys. I'm very happy. But again, I didn't believe, and now I'm starting to believe, man. You guys, I mean, you're this far. You can probably lose. You guys can go 500 and still be in the playoffs, which is great. So good for you guys. Vegas Golden Knights, Stanley Cup contenders. Come on. You guys kept the group together. You guys, the only person you sold off was Riley Smith. You guys re-signed everybody else. Barbashev, Aiden Hill. You guys look phenomenal. Goaltending, I mean, Pantera's been playing the Paterna. Your goalie is one of your goalies is injured, but he's playing fine. I mean, your team's good. I mean, you might sell off on Alec Martinez, or you might just keep him to the playoffs and not re-sign him. But I really like what you guys are doing. So, Seattle Kraken. I'm dropping it back down here. Actually, I'll hold them right here. They were supposed to be not great. To me, they were going to be a wildcard team, and they're not doing well. And to me, this is more of a less on WTF and what's happening to the team. It is. Actually, I'm going WTF. It's not a huge WTF because you're not a wild card team. You're not a true wild card team, right? If you're looking at who's going to win in this division, right? You're going to have 1, 2, 3. So Canucks, Golden Knights, LA for sure. Oilers are probably going to make the playoffs, so that bumps you down to a wild card spot. But to me, the issue is you guys aren't going big enough. You're not. You had great luck last year. You had amazing luck of beating an injured Colorado Avalanche. And you guys didn't stand a chance against the Stars. In my opinion, you shouldn't have. But to me, I had them fifth in division. This is more of not a WTF. I mean, if there was a line between WTF and wildcard, I would put you guys there. But to me, it's going back to directionless. It feels directionless, right? It feels like you're going to sell Adam Larson. What's happening with Shane Wright? McCabe was playing amazing last year. Dunn was playing amazing last year. Goalies are still not doing amazing. So I just don't know what's happening. So let's go over to the standings. Let's check them out. So Seattle, I had fifth. That makes sense. Biggest jump was Vancouver. I did not have you. I had you sixth. So Knights I had finishing the top. Edmonton I had number 2. Again, look at Edmonton. They're now point per game in their standings. So they're starting to climb back up, right? They still have a couple games in hand too, so they could take over the Seattle Kraken by the end of the week, essentially. Calgary Flames are doing better than I thought they would, but to me, they're just not like you have the -13 right here. That's not good. And look at this, dude. Again, I'm so low on the Los Angeles Kings. This is not fair. This is a vibes thing again. I get plus 34. That's amazing. Good for you guys. It's 73 goals let in. Again, maybe I need to change my standings. Yeah, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. LA's good, man. They're looking really good. They're looking really good. Is the Jets looking too? No, Jets gotta go down then. To me, yeah, it's vibes. Yeah, this is a vibes thing. Boston. No, yeah, I'll say this is good. I get 7. 7 teams is good for the Stanley Cup contenders. I like that. Because if you think of like that's like top. That's like second round. So I mean, you have guys that are playing. You can have a hot goalie and play amazing. So, and Vancouver is Demko. So of course, but I'm about right. Again, I think the Oilers can bounce back. I think Kraken are drop. I think Calgary Flames are going to sell off and they're going to drop a ton too. They're not going to drop as low as Anaheim and San Jose. Holy smokes, dude! Oh my god, minus 67. We're not even halfway through the season yet, dude. And the goal differential. Goodness gracious. Well, again, thankfully for San Jose, this was intentional. This is planned. And for the Flyers, it was not planned. But again, I think they're still rebuilding. So, anyways, let me know what your thoughts on my tier list. Clearly you were here when I worked on it, But again, we'll probably do one of these in the next couple months just to kind of do a recap. Maybe do it in February. We'll just start in February. That sounds like a good idea because that'll give us a little time before the trade deadline too. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. And hit like, subscribe, and I'll catch up with you soon. And love you.